So welcome everyone to this Python basic concepts video. It will be short, but it will be very helpful if you are beginning, if you are in an intermediate stage, or also you are an expert. So please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to take you step by step on the Python basic concepts. So we have various basic concepts in Python. One being we are going to look at Boolean logics, what are strings, what is a list, while and for loops, dictionaries, functions, what is a class in Python, and the different data types in Python. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, we need to understand what data types are. So data types, and there are different data types, one of it being an integer, and an integer is a whole number or a number without decimal places. So for instance, 5 or 7 or 1000, this is an integer. So in order to have an integer in Python, we assign it to a variable. And a variable is a placeholder or a box where you can keep integers or other data types. We have the different data types. Like I said, we have integers, we have strings, we have floats, and Boolean, which is also a data type. So, and to store these data types, we need something we call a variable. And a variable acts as a store of those values. It's called a variable. Stores the data types. So it is like a box in which you can be able to keep all your products or your commodities. So a variable is a placeholder. For instance, for us to store an integer, we can say number is equals to 40. So in this case, 40 is our value and number is our variable. So this number being the variable, it stores the integer 40. Let's say, for instance, we want to store a list of numbers, of a list of items in one variable. We can say list of items, and we can say a list, and to write a list in Python, we use square brackets, right? Another thing to understand in Python, a list is written inside square brackets. So we can say we have 34, we have 55, and right now we are focusing on writing integers, and we have 60. Let's say, for instance, we want to print this list of the list items. We can say print list underscore items, save, then run. If you can see here below, then the program is able to run without any problem or any error, and our list of numbers or integers are listed below. What happens if we print the variable number? Then you'll be able to see we have 40 and our program is working right. So that is how you can be able to write a list with integers. And remember, our variable is list items, which stores these lists of items, which are in terms of integers. So that is one of the data type, which is called integers. For instance, let's say we want to add, we can delete this, we want to add the integers, or we do something called concatenation. This is where you can be able to add different variables let's say we have num_1, which is equals to 34. Then we have num_2, let's say is equals to 10. So we can say sum. Okay, this will bring a problem. We can say number_sum should be equals to num_1 plus num_2. Then after doing that, we can say print num_sum. Then let us see. Then you can be able to see we have 44 as the answer. So we can be able to add different integers that have been stored in a separate variable, which is num_1 plus num_2, which is 34 plus 10, which is equals to 44. The same can happen if we were doing subtraction. We just replace that with subtraction, then we'll be able to see the answer will be equals to 24. So that is all about integers. You can even do much more with integers. I'll showcase more as we proceed on how we'll be able to use it in many ways. Again, now we have something we call strings. So strings, this is where now you'll be able to store sentences or words in a variable. For example, let's say we have sentence, or let's say rin_1 is equals to, and for us to notify in Python that it is a string, we must use quotation marks. It can be either a single quotation mark or double quotation mark, or even triple quotation mark if you want to put several lines of sentences in one line. But in this case, let us continue. So we can say rin_1 and say this is a Python course. And now this says that now it is a string. Like I said, a string, you are able to put it inside quotation marks, single quotation mark, double quotation mark, and if there are many lines, you use triple quotation marks. So if we continue and print this, we can say print rin_1, then you'll be able to see that indeed it prints that line of code. So for instance, what happens if we have, let's say if we have multiple lines, or we want to include multiple lines, we can have, let's say, rin_2, and we can say second line showcased. So we can be able even to print this other line. We can say rin_2, and as you can be able to see, it prints indeed the second line. So this is how you can be able to interact with different strings, and you can be able to store strings in different variables. And note that our variables do not start with capital letters. They all start with small letters. And if you are combining two words, make sure you use underscore, which is makes your Python code much readable in your computer system. So that is all about strings, but we'll be able to work out more as we continue with this session, while we'll be interacting with other concepts. So again, we also have something we call floats. So floats here, when we talk about floats in Python, we mean having decimal numbers. Let's say, for instance, we can say float_number is equals to 34.948. This is a float because it has decimal places. So if we print, we can say print float number, then you'll be able to see that it will print indeed the floating number, right? So that is how you can, that is all about floats in Python, and we will be able to see more on how we will be able to interact with this data type. We also have something we call Boolean. Booleans, they are used as conditionals. So when you hear about a Boolean in Python, know that it's talking about a condition that can either be true or false. So for instance, A is equals to B, or A is equals to 5, then we can say B is equals to 1. Then we can be able, okay, this will bring interruption. I think, okay, yeah, I can be able to see. So I can be able first hold on to this. I'll be able to come back to that. So, but when you hear about a Boolean, just understand that it is talks about whether whatever you are making, it is conditional. It's either true or false. I have stopped to continue with that because we need to learn something else before we continue. Okay. Without further ado, let us learn about basic content that is required for you to know